Not to start this as a bummer, but when you saw Aaron get hurt the other night, and what went through your head, and have you reached out to him?
Yeah, reached out to him. I didn't see it. We were in our planning, but obviously, right before I went to bed, my phone was blowing up, so I got to read a little bit about it. And when I guess the press conference at the end of it, they felt like they already knew. So yeah, no, it's that's the unfortunate part of our game, and just sent the message saying, man, you'll come back better than ever. So.
When you went back to review Sunday, when you did a self-assessment on just kind of the game planning and the play calling, what did you see?
I think we did a lot of good things. I think our execution was obviously maybe a little bit more reflective of game one than we would want it to be. Felt like we left a lot out there. Obviously, when you don't win, things will get criticized more, but we always look at it under the microscope and make sure that we're coaching every single person, to the best of our abilities and getting the details right. And our details were not good enough, and that's the kind of the underlying fact that showed up.
Justin said yesterday he felt like he was too conservative at times. How do you get that to be more aggressive going into week 2 and beyond?
Yeah, I think it's for him to say that, I'm assuming he's just talking about there was a couple opportunities where we're down and up to maybe take a chance, even if it ends up being like a 1-on-1 50-50 type of ball. Yeah, I mean that's part of that, getting to know each other, chemistry, trusting one another, and all that stuff. And he'll continue to get better at that. I thought he played under control, composed, and all that stuff. I thought there was a lot of really good things. The touchdown pass, he's changing the protection and making sure we pick up the pressure, and then makes a great throw. So there's a lot of good things too.
With DJ more specifically, what are the conversations like to get him more involved, whether it is being a little bit more aggressive getting the ball or just finding ways to get the ball in his hands?
Yeah, no, that's the conversation every day. So that's when you have one of your best players, you want to make sure they're touching the ball, and how we plan each week is that way, not just for DJ but for other guys too. But that's something that's always going to be talked about.
Why did DJ Moore get only 2 targets? I mean, even from the moment he stepped on the field here, it seemed like Justin was just tethered to him, and then just 2 targets seemed like a little bit of a disappointment.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a disappointment. There's a lot of reasons why things happen. A protection that could have broke down for a particular play for him. Justin maybe just didn't see something in a particular way. There's a lot of things that go into it. I think we definitely are calling plays for DJ, and he knows that, and he wasn't frustrated by any of that. And sometimes it's just the way the coverage dictates to where the quarterback has to go with the football too.
Off the top of your head, if DJ's out there for something like what looked like about 45 pass plays between the sacks, some of the scrambles, how many of those plays is DJ the primary read?
Yeah, I don't know. We'd have to sit down and look at the plan. But I mean, he's gonna be a big part of that plan. Whatever that percentage is, I don't have like a set number each week that would make sure that he hits 40% of the targets or something like that. I don't do that. But I know that guys like him and are an important part of our plan each and every week, and we set up formations and we set up plays and concepts that suit each guy's abilities, and we make sure that we're staying focused on getting them the ball as many different ways as possible, so that defenses kind of can't settle in on one particular way or one particular alignment.
Obviously, the way that DJ was defended, I'm sure factors into that with Green Bay. But considering he's played Tampa Bay so much, and there's so much film of him against Carlton Davis and Jamel Dean, is that something that you can use to your advantage with Justin when he's watching it to know, okay, he may look covered here, but he has the history there to get open. Is that something that you can give Justin that insight to make him more comfortable throwing in situations where maybe he wouldn't have been as aggressive?
Yeah, no, I think you reflect on your practice experiences. I think you reflect on when you watch the film and there's physical evidence. I think that all gives you confidence. And the good thing is, when you watch the film, DJ's doing a bunch of different stuff. So it's not like it's just, hey, he's only catching go balls or something like that. I mean, he's doing a lot of different stuff. So I think all that stuff in the film study is really good for both of them.
What do you think Justin is in anticipating where the receivers are going to be, regardless of what position they play, but where the receivers are going to be in his anticipation, and maybe that affecting the lack of downfield shots that you guys take?
No, I think I think he's in a good place. I think he's got a really good understanding of what's going on around him. Like he's getting better and better at that. But you're still gonna have some times where you look back and reflect and say, you know, dang, I wish I would have did this or did that. We're gonna have those as we continue to grow. I mean, that's part of his youth, part of his experience that we're getting. But there was a ton of evidence on film that you know, that's there. We just got to get it more consistently.
The Bucks probably blitz more than as much as any team in the league. How do you kind of counteract? What's the mindset going into that game? How much do you focus on that during the week in terms of picking up stuff like that?
Yeah, anytime you play Coach Bowles, like that is what you have to prepare for. I mean, he's as good as anybody in the league at attacking you offensively, being aggressive. So they did that to Minnesota last week. I mean, 70% of the snaps, right? So that's who they are. That's their makeup. That's always been that way, and so that's a huge part of our plan.
It seemed like from the some of the wide receiver screens, some of the runs. I know we've talked with Matt about some of the perimeter stuff. It seemed like a game plan where EQ, kind of based on what you guys told us last year, kind of thrives in some of those situations. Was there a reason based on like the game plan and him not being up that those maybe didn't jive?
No, I think that's part of what Ryan and Matt. That's their decisions each and every week. So we build our plan around whatever decision that they want to make.
Luke, there was that practice in August, right? It was a little bumpy, and you came in here and you said you were a little bit discouraged by just some of the fight response that happened in there. What did you sense Sunday in the second half when things were going astray?
No, I thought the guys did a nice job sticking together. I really did. You know, I know the negative plays are what really crushed us, our momentum, our drives. I think we had 4 drives that started past the 30. I think we scored on all 4 of them. The ones that were behind the 30, even if we got started, we kind of, we stumbled. And it was usually because of a negative play, right? So I think that was when you have those negative plays, those are opportunities for guys to respond that way, and they did. And they did a really nice job of sticking together. So, the false starts. I think only one of them, and it was Lucas, that didn't snap the ball the one time. The other ones, our guys are anticipating the snap count. Those weren't like the one, especially in the 2-point play. Like, I mean, that hardly ever gets called because Darnell was just anticipating the snap count. So those are ones that we got to get. We don't want those, but we're gonna fire off the ball, and those are the ones that we got to get better at. With the one I think it was the back-to-back, the second one, Lucas didn't snap it on time, and so that was the cause of that one. So we got to eliminate those negative plays, and then. That usually helps keep our drives going. So then, as far as keeping everything positive, that will help.
I think there's an extra emphasis on those jump in the snap count because of what happened that Thursday game.
That's a good point. I don't know that, but I didn't think about that either. So that could be potentially talking about with the way the tackle that everybody was making a big deal about.
Game, and it seemed like it was a huge talking point.
Well, I was with their left tackle for 7 years, and he does it every play too. So I don't think so.
The pass rush, the pass protection issues that you guys had in that game, did that surprise you, the kind of volume you had of Justin having to, avoid?
No, I mean, I don't want to say it surprised me. You don't want it, but I don't want to say it surprised me. I mean, that's they're a really good front. I mean, that's as good of a front as there is in the league. I mean, how many first rounders show up in the front 7, right? And that's what they do, and they do a really good job of moving guys around. And so no, we knew that was going to be a challenge, a part of the game. Justin actually, I mean, I thought he handled it as good as he has since I've been here, and staying composed, and I think we get better up front with certain one-on-one opportunities for sure. But that's going to just come with keep playing. We got to get experience playing next to each other, chemistry, passing off stunts, and all that good stuff.
Justin talked about being a little bit. Justin talked about being conservative himself, but when you think about it, was the game plan itself a little bit conservative? And if so, what kind of factors goes into you deciding that the game plan should be more conservative or more aggressive?
Yeah, I don't look at it as that way. I don't think I've ever really looked at it. I don't think I ever have. We look for advantageous looks, and I know it sounds like screens have been a conversation, but a poor motion landmark and a couple poor blocks. But if you watch the film and you actually watch the film, we have everybody accounted for, and there's nobody else out there if we can just capture that edge. I mean, those are 15, 25-yard gains, and you guys are patting me on my back, and I get it. That's part of it. So my point of it is we're going to make decisions what we feel is advantageous to our guys having opportunities. Now, we got to do better. We got to coach it better. We got to make sure that guys execute it better. That's where we got to get better at for sure.
Luke, obviously, Nate Davis missed a lot of time leading up to the opener. How did you feel like he performed Sunday?
Yeah, I was happy. I think, what showed up probably the most with not specifically to him, but to the group was, we played 70 whatever plays it was, and so the guys did a good job of hanging in there, and maybe the effort kind of tailed off a little bit as it went, but for Nate to not have as much practice experience as the other guys, and for him to hang in there and play hard the whole game, I was really happy with how he was able to do that.
As you guys move forward, is there anything that you feel like you can hang your hat on from week one and build upon, saying like, okay, we did these things pretty well, let's build upon this?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, we won't get into specifics, but for sure, I think that there was a lot of good on that film. There was just like I said, those negative plays, whether it were penalties or the runs for 0 or -1, or the keeper coming out of the half, like that stuff. We got to get rid of that stuff, and I think we're all sitting here feeling a little bit differently about how it all went.
I'm sure you're.
How do you eliminate those? You talk about negative plays and stall drives. How do you eliminate those?
Yeah, I mean, it's a bunch of different ways, right? One, it's making sure that we do a better job of getting guys coached up on what we think they're gonna see, and then those guys have to go out and execute it. So it's a team effort. It takes all 11. We say that about everything: run, pass, and protection. It takes all 11, and we got to make sure we stay true to that.
How do you motivate Chase to do a better job, to give a better effort in his dirty work of blocking?
How do you motivate them?
How do you get him motivated to do that?
Yeah, no, I think Chase is motivated. I think he wants to do it. I think he had a couple plays where he didn't execute it, and that hurt us, and he knows that. But I think Chase wants to do it. I don't think it's a matter of him wanting.
Or blocking, that's effort, isn't it? I mean, blocking.
That's part of it for sure. I mean, it's a will. It's a knowing your assignment, execution. You guys have seen our run game. It's not an easy thing on receivers. That's why we value the people that can play multiple positions and do multiple things. So that's part of it. But yeah, effort is part of it, but it's only a part of it.
You're insulated in here with, day to day, before the sun comes up, way after the sun goes down. Do you have a feeling for the, outside pressure there is on the offensive coordinator of the Bears with a quarterback that's trying to develop?
Oh, I mean, I don't know exactly what it is, but I know that it's there for sure. I mean, I'm in a huge market here, and we have an exciting young quarterback that everybody is excited to see how well he can do. For sure, I know it's out there, but what it is, I don't, because I know that really doesn't affect me and what I'm gonna do or how I'm gonna do it. What we're trying to do is whatever we can for all 11 guys on the field, give them opportunity to go be successful. That's all. As a coach, that's all you can do. And when you're in the building each and every day, you're making sure that you're doing everything possible to give those guys a chance to have success. That's all you're really focused on, and that takes up enough of your time that I don't really have a chance to go listen to all that or read all that.
Is Roshan the best running back you have at pass protection?
I don't know. I think he's done a really nice job. I thought this game again. He steps up. He does it's not too big for him. He's a physical guy. You see the way he runs the ball too. So he does a nice job. I mean, to sit and say rank him 1 to whatever, I'm not going to do that. But yeah, I think Roshan does a really nice job.
But that will impact the reps against the heavy blitz team this week.
Yeah, potentially. Again, we try to get all of them the reps. I mean, we're going to go down. It's going to be it's going to be a hotter game. So we're going to need everybody to play. And Roshan, we feel like he's ready to rock and roll with that.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Yeah.
All right, good morning. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Doing great. Ready to get the day started. Out on the practice field, obviously we already had meetings, so that was fun. Excited about the first road challenge. Going on the road this week. Guys are locked in, focused, which is really good to see. Going on the road is special. It's team bonding. I'm excited about a chance for our guys to get on the road and bond. And again, winning on the road is tough. I mean, obviously, we're going against a good football team in Tampa. And they won on the road last week versus a playoff team versus a good football team. So we're excited for that challenge. And really just can't wait to get to practice. But with that, we'll open it up to questions.
On the big punt return that Jaden Reed had on Sunday, what was your diagnosis on kind of what was loose for you guys?
Yeah, so on that play, really anytime you have a return, and this is in the punt return game, there are 4 factors that factor in. And one of them is gunners not being a factor on the play. Hang the distance ratio, guys stacked in coverage. So if you got players stacked in coverage on top of each other, then we're not doing what? Dispersing the field, right? We're not spreading the net. All right, so when you got guys stacked on top of each other, then there's gonna be a seam there, and then the last is poor tackling. So 3, you could have any one of those happen and get a return on you. So in that case, 3 of the 4 happened. So we just got to do a better job keeping it contained on that. And the guys actually asked. Guys actually asked a lot of great questions on that in the meeting, and we've corrected it, and we're ready to go forward with it. So it's been really good.
Which of the 4 things didn't happen?
Which of the 4?
Which was good, yeah.
Yeah, which was good. It wasn't a bad hang to distance ratio punt. Yeah, I thought Trent punted the ball really well in the ball game. I thought Cairo kicked off well, helping us, limit 25. We tackled him inside the 25-yard line twice, so that was a positive. Cairo had his mind right, so Trent punted well. Cairo kicked well. Field goals, they did a great job, 100% there. Scales was on point, 12 o'clock laces on everything. And the operation was good, so those guys did a good job from that standpoint.
Coach, we talked about the active roster and how you guys go about making those decisions, balancing offense and defense and special teams. We talked about the back end of that wide receiver group. What are the conversations like between you and Coach Getsy in terms of how you guys got to the point where Bayless was down, Tyler was up, and he was going to return kicks?
Yeah, that's a great question, Herb. We all talk about that together, and Coach Getsy's awesome. Like, he's great with all of that stuff, and I love working with him. Like, he's an outstanding teammate. So Ryan and Matt and Coach Eberflus, they make those. Flus and Ryan make those decisions, and we just kind of listen, and sometimes they ask for our input, and then sometimes they rock and roll. Well, really, they always ask for our input, but they're gonna rock and roll with what they think is best for the team, and then we just take it from there. We're just getting everybody ready. So.
How did you think Tyler did?
As a returner, yeah, I thought he did. I thought he had a really nice return on one of them, and then I thought on another one, he would tell you that he's got to be better on another one, but he did a good job. For the first time out, it's tough for a rookie first time out, and that's a good coverage unit. Like, Green Bay has changed their whole fabric of what their special teams, and you can see Rich's imprint on that team now, from a personnel standpoint to the guys they brought in, to the amount of guys they have helping with that phase, and then obviously he's doing a good job of coaching them. So I think Tyler did as good as he could. Tyler did as good as he can do there. We can still improve, obviously, but I think he did a nice job, to answer your question.
Is that his job going forward, or are you gonna try to mix others in that kick return?
Yeah, that's a good question, Courtney. It's the same as it was last week. It's whoever's available to us, so it'll be a week-to-week decision. We're doing kickoff return today, so they're back there. They'll all be back there working today, and once we get the green light on whoever is going to be active, then we'll go from there.
What was it about Tyler, though, that made you give him the nod once Bayless wasn't active? Because you have a lot of options back there.
Well, he proved himself in the preseason, right? He had a really nice return in the preseason. And then you guys know Tyler just works at it. Like, he works at it. He works at his craft. He wants to get better. His attention to detail is outstanding. And we're just going to continue to develop him and Bayless in that role, So we'll work with those guys and anybody else who's up, Like I always say, guys, whoever has a helmet, and we think that they can help us win, we'll put them back there with no hesitation.
Richard, was Tyler one of those guys, like, I know you weren't here, but I think back to Darnell Mooney, who showed up right away on top of everything mentally and the playbook and everything. Has Tyler been like that too, where he's just, there isn't much of a learning curve, he's on top of everything, he's picking it up really fast?
Yeah, I would say, like you said, I can't speak to Mooney, but I know my experience and exposure with Tyler has been extremely positive. And obviously we all have things we got to work on. So I won't say he came in and automatically he got everything and never, is challenged or anything like that. He definitely is, but the difference with him is you see his intent. And he does pick up things a lot quicker than most rookies that I've dealt with in my career. So he's trending in the right direction.
You guys had Cairo and Gill both kick off last year.
Mm-hmm.
What goes into this decision of who does it now, and is weather a factor, and the new rules a factor that maybe you might need some accuracy more than just a booming leg out the back?
Yeah, I think that's an awesome question, and strategy is the biggest factor in that. So, like you saw, we had them both kick off in the preseason, and there was some rumblings from the Green Bay guys about who was going to kick off, and all that goes into it. So, it's all about strategy and who we think gives us the best opportunity on that particular kick, and it could be any one of them at any time in the game. So that's what's great about the personnel they've given us there to be able to mix and match with that and keep guys on their toes.
We can see Gill kicking off this year.
Yeah, you can see them. You can see them kicking off anytime. Yeah, they got to prepare for it. And the other part of your question was about the rules, and obviously, it was only one fair catch this week in the Seattle and the LA game, which that's all the data. And I know you asked that question about the rules, and we still in the situation where we're gonna wait to see, just because of it's only one study right now. It was only one fair catch, but you guys know returns were down, but scoring was also down over the course of the league. So as scoring increases, then I think the returns will increase, and then I think we'll get a chance to have a better sample size on the study on your question that I definitely appreciate that, because you stay on that question. Yeah.
I'm trying.
I love it though. I love it. It's awesome.
If Josh Blackwell, like if his playing time is affected either by having to play more on defense or if he can't go because of the injury, is that a Terrell Smith opportunity for snaps on special teams?
It's definitely if Blackwell gets the opportunity to play more on defense this week, obviously we'll always be conscious and conscientious of making sure our guys are the freshest for the phases. We need them, and then they're also fresh for defense. But it'll be an opportunity for any wide receiver or DB. So Terrell will have that opportunity. Any other wide receiver or DB that is up will have an opportunity to fill in those spots, and we expect them to deliver. So,
Coach, see, is the kickoff returns in general, we've talked about this a lot just over the years, has kind of been phased out for safety concerns, things like that. Are you seeing fewer returners like being developed at lower levels? Is that part of the equation too, or is it more so just the rules? Like, are you seeing, when you guys are scouting returners, and is that having an impact on the actual amount of guys that are special at doing that?
That's a great perspective and a great question, Coach. Great way to look at it. I haven't really thought about it in terms of the question you're asking, but now that I'm thinking about it, I do feel like in past years, and like I said, I've only been doing this 17 years, but I do feel like in past years that I don't know if we can quantify that. I don't know if we can, but I do know there are fewer returners where I feel like my first couple years in the league, 5 or 6 years in the league, there were always like 6 or 7 of them coming out. So yeah, there are less opportunities with the fair catches. That's an awesome question. Yeah, it probably is being affected over the long term.
Richard, probably the biggest play in the league, special teams wise, in week 1 was the punt return on Monday night to walk it off. Did you have a chance to see that play? Anything from your lens that caught your eye?
Yeah, that was an awesome play. It was obviously those are the plays you live for in the special teams room when you're on the good side of it. Those are plays you don't live for when you're on the bad side of it. But as you guys know, I did work with Robert Saleh for a long time in San Francisco, and we worked together in Houston in the quality control room. So I'm very happy for him, shared, text back and forth with him on that. That was awesome to see his team still push through after the adversity that they faced there. So that kid's an outstanding kid. He's a kid we liked as well. The whole league liked him. I mean, he's a good player. And he did a good job on that play, and they blocked it up well, obviously. So,
Coach, you said that Matt and Ryan were deciding, who's going to be up, who's going to be down on a given week.
Mm-hmm.
Is that consistent with what you've seen throughout your career in terms of the GM being so actively involved in deciding game day personnel in terms of the 46?
Yeah, I think that's across the league that way. In the teams that I've been on, yeah, head coach and GM always are in lockstep, hand in hand, and in some buildings, whoever has the final or whatever. I don't know really how that goes in every building, but I know our guys work together on it and they work hand in hand, and it's always been a really pleasant experience here for the year I've been with them here and going forward. So they do a great job of that. They communicate very well when it comes to that. Thank you.